to another Stories with Ori. You know, a lot of people see me, but they don't know who I am. So let me tell you some personal things about myself. As you see that I come to you clean shaven every day, I come to you with a sport coat. But if you knew me in the old days, you would see me with a suit and a tie, the cufflinks and everything. I'm very meticulous about things. I plan things in advance. And I got to tell you a funny story. You know, I, this is funny. You're going to love this. Yesterday, I was doing a load of wash, but before I did, this year, for some reason, I've been loving corn. It's really been great this year. So before I went and put my laundry in, I put the corn in the oven. And I said, okay, 30, 40 minutes, it'll be done, right? So now, when I went down, our washing machine and dryers are in a room in the garage. So when I got down there, I remembered I needed a light bulb. I said, let me go and pick up the light bulb. So I got in the car, and it was 7:47, and I decided I would go to Target on La Cienega Boulevard. And I said, I got time to open it and I'll run right out. So now I drive down there, I get there, the door's open, and a girl comes out. They had to shut down because they had some plumbing problems. So what I did was, there was a dollar store. I love the dollar store. I don't know about you folks, I love it. All right, so I went into the dollar store. Then there was a Smart and Final. I went in there, I picked up some fruit. And finally, I drive back home. I forgot all about the corn in the oven. I get home, the washer was finished. I put them in the dryer, come upstairs, and my apartment's smelling of corn. I opened the oven up. The corn was all black and popping. And I just laughed at myself. I said, oh my God. I said, is that how they make popcorn? So, so that's one of the things I did. The other thing, a lot of you don't know that I wrote a book, The Accidental Gangster, From Insurance Salesman to Hollywood Fixer. And I'm going to get in how I became the Hollywood Fixer and things about Hollywood here in a few moments. Now, I know a lot of you like to talk about Diddy, and there's a lot going on with him. All right, his lawyers are out there like crazy, wanting to do things, all right? And let's see, hang on, I gotta do this. Huh? Lindy, report, remove, channel activity. Let's see, channel activity. Let's see what that says. All right? I'm trying to add Lindy. Folks, for you don't know, Lindy is my moderator here, and she's doing a great job. And I'm trying to figure out how to make her there we go. Oh, no, wait. No, that was Nancy. Sorry, Nancy. Lindy. Remove as standard. All right. Now let's go. It's managing. There, I did it, folks. Oh my God. All right, Lindy is now my managing moderator. My God, technology and me, we just don't get along. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Okay. Now, my book says From Insurance Salesman to Hollywood Fixer. So let's begin. My career after I got out of the United States Army, I went in the insurance business and became an agent for the Prudential Insurance Company. I was a top agent with them. I was a member of the $1 Million Round Table. And I got to tell you, I sold a lot of insurance and I loved it. I really seriously loved it. It was great. And then eventually I had my own business. You can read about what happened. It's all in my book. Okay? But in 1971, I met Dino De Laurentiis. Now here I am, a small town boy from Rome, New York. And like all of you, I watched TV and I saw these famous movie people, never dreaming in my life that I would ever meet them. And I did. My coffee cup says, Ori, you are making a difference in this world. Folks, I hope I am, okay? I'm sure trying at my ripe age of 80 years old. And, I try to do my best, give you only the truth and truth facts, okay? So I began with Dino De Laurentiis, and me and my friends in New York, we did a favor for him when they filmed a movie across 134th Street in New York. There was a problem there. And then I met Dino again at his office. It was right here on Cannon Drive. I'll never forget that day. I walked in, and right there in the lobby, they had a barber chair, and he was getting a haircut. But Dino was a really nice guy. One of the biggest independent producers at that time, did movies like King Kong and goes on. But at that time, they were filming the movie The Valachi Papers, okay, with Charles Bronson. Not to be mistaken with my friend Charles Bronson, who's in prison over in England and been there for 50 years, okay? And Hollywood was great then. And you didn't have this political crap that you have today. And I'm going to explain that to you here in a minute. But, so I had to go on the set and do a favor, which I did. And then my next favor I did was in Boston. All right, now Dino and my dear friend Ralph Serpi were filming The Brinks Job. They had Peter Falk was the star of it. It was a great movie. We had some, Jimmy's Harborside was a great restaurant in Boston. I don't know if it's still there. We got any people from Boston here? Let me know. We had dinner one time with the guys who did The Brinks Job. And these guys were funny. And at the dinner table happened to be the chief of police, Ralph Serpi, Frank Russo, me, and the guys who did The Brinks Job. And they never, ever admitted that they did it. Although they know they did. So Ralph Serpi and I were questioning him. We were going back and forth with questioning. And then I finally said, why did you do it? And he opened his mouth because, and he stopped. All right, and that was that there. But there was a problem because the unions had like every single person in Boston on the production team not doing nothing, no paid jobs, and we had to do something. Lindy, what are you talking? Kick me out. I don't understand. Lindy, please explain that. Kick me out. Okay? Anyways, I. Thank you, Lindy. So, anyways, folks, let me read you a few things. All right? How conservative Hollywood became a liberal town. Let's talk about it. Hollywood used to be conservative, but now it's known for its liberal views. Liberalism slowly grew in Hollywood after a backlash against censorship and 1952 free speech ruling. While it may seem as though Hollywood has always been liberal, it hasn't. Very few people today realize that at one point in the development of American cinema, conservatives ruled the movie-making industry. Even today, conservative celebrities make successful movies for their millions of fans. Well, look at from my personal experience, when it became over liberal, if you were conservative and you spoke as a conservative, you got blackballed. Just check out Jimmy Woods. Great actor, did many good movies. He got blackballed. And several others, which is wrong. Okay? Talent is talent. And not everybody has that kind of talent that James Woods has. All right? And they blackballed him, and he hasn't been doing movies. Okay? Unless he finances them himself. California was not conservative, not liberal, until Bill Clinton became the president, and then it became totally blue for a long time. But that's in a process of changing. All right? In the early 1920s, a series of scandals rocked Hollywood, according to author Kristen Thompson and David Bordwell. Silent film star Mary Pickford divorced her first husband in 1921 so she could marry the attractive Douglas Fairbanks. Later that year, Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was accused, but later acquitted, of raping and murdering a young actress during a wild party in 1922. And it goes on. I don't want to bore you with everything, folks, okay? But let me read it. The final straw came in 1923 when Wallace Reid, a ruggedly handsome actor, died of an overdose. In themselves, these incidents were cause for sensation, but taken together, studio bosses worried they would be accused of promoting immorality and self-indulgence. As it was, a number of protest groups had successfully lobbied Washington, and the federal government was looking to impose censorship guidelines on the studio. Rather than losing control of their product and face the involvement of the government, the motion picture producers and distributors of America hired Warren I lost the pace. Sorry. Okay. All right. But let me tell you, I told you how I began. I know a lot of people who are producers, directors, actors that are conservative, but they don't say a word because they're afraid of being blackballed. And that's just how Hollywood is. People made some very bad. Agent Orange, can I explain gift that says I have a gift to give? Lindy, can you answer that question for me? I'm not sure. Okay? OC man, thank you for coming. All right. Alma Hernandez, hello, how are you? Okay. So a lot of things that happen in Hollywood, we're not good. Now, a lot of you think that a movie is made overnight. Now, you all know that there is a movie in the works about my book, The Accidental Gangster. And it was written, the script. You seen a post of mine the other day that nothing happens in Hollywood without the written word. And you know something was very discouraging? These writers never get the credit for what they do. The actors always get the credit. The actors get credit for the words they say. I seen an interview with Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, okay, about certain words they said in Goodfellas. And you know what? They never mentioned those words came from what Nick Pileggi wrote in the script. Never mention him. Never give him credit. I think that's terrible. What do you think? Okay? What do you think about that there? Let me know, folks. And by the way, folks, you like what I'm telling you, please give me that thumbs up, okay? And don't be shy, okay? I appreciate it. There's a lot of buttons there that you could hit that do a lot of things. And just want you to know that. I'm learning YouTube. I'm learning the language that we're allowed to say here in YouTube and different things like that. It's not an easy job, I assure you. It's very difficult, especially for somebody like me who is not technology savvy, okay? Good day, Keisha. Sunnyvale. Thank you. I agree, Agent Orange. So, I've been blessed to be around so many good people in Hollywood, people that make things happen. Okay? I became very dear friends with John Daly. Who is John Daly, you might ask? Let me name the movies John Daly did. He did Platoon, Hoosiers, and a whole slew of other movies. John and I would meet every day up on where, if you saw my video, I did it up there on Sunset Strip, okay, we're at Sunset Plaza, and those restaurants are no longer there. Thank you, Keisha, I appreciate that. Thank you for that, thanks, Keisha, you're awesome. God bless you. And those restaurants are closed because a lot of restaurants cannot make it now because the cost of the labor costs have gone up so drastically here in California. So a lot of our fine restaurants are no there, but John Daly and I were close right up until the day he died. I want to tell you what happened to John Daly. The last movie he filmed it in Canada for a production company out of Belgium. And John was calling me up every day, and he says, he can't eat. He said, the food terrible up here. I said, John, that's Canada. They got a lot of great places. And finally, he come back, and we met at La Petite Four, and he was skinnier, didn't look good. I forced him to eat something. Now he had to go to Belgium to edit the movie. And while he was editing the movie, his colon burst. And they had to rush him to the hospital there in Belgium. I was on the phone every day. And finally, all right, he got not well enough to be able to walk around, but got well enough that we could put him on a plane with a nurse, and his ex-wife helped us put them on a plane, and we had the plane fly into Santa Monica Airport, and from there he went in to St. John's Hospital here in Santa Monica, California. And I was there every morning at 7 a.m. I would stop, I bought Ensure, I would stop at Whole Foods, I'd get him oatmeal and different foods to eat. I'd go to his room, I would hand feed him, and long and behold, he got better, he was allowed to go home, things were looking up really good. And that year, for some reason, this particular organization called me and asked me who they should give the Lifetime Award to. And I told them John Daly. They said, no, we want an actor or an actress, right? I said, no, please give it to John Daly, producer and director. And they did. The event was held in Napa Valley. And on the day of the event, John was now back at Cedars Hospital, Cedars-Sinai, here in Los Angeles. And I was there every day. Now, because he couldn't make the event, we had his daughter go up there along with Tim Schreiner, who was an executive producer with him. And we had the camera crew come to the hospital to record John. I was right there at the foot of the bed. I listened to every word. You see, without John Daly, there would be no Oliver Stone today. Okay? No way. Oliver Stone could not get arrested in Hollywood. And he ran into John one night in a restaurant here in Los Angeles. And he went up and he said, Mr. Daly, and John looked up, I know who you are, Oliver. And John said, I have two of the best scripts in Hollywood. Nobody will read them. And John, he said, would you read them, John? John said, certainly. Send them over to my office. Call me on Tuesday. I will read them over the weekend. On Tuesday, Oliver Stone called John Daly and got news that he never believed he would get. In phone conversation, hi John, did you have an opportunity to read the script? And John says, yes, Oliver, I did. I will do both of them. Which one do you want to do first? And the first one he did was, oh boy, it was a war movie with James Wood, Charlie Sheen, who's a friend of mine. And it was a creative success, but not, El Salvador was, okay? El Salvador. It was a creative success, but not a financial success. The next movie was Platoon, and it won Best Picture of the Year. And that's why you have on Oliver Stone today. Other people that John gave breaks to. Denzel Washington, Julia Roberts, Dennis Hopper, And I can go on and on and on. You can Google it, you can find it, it's there. John was an awesome, amazing guy. John, now, Oliver was going to Thailand at the time, so we had to send the camera crew to his house so he could film it. So he filmed it, and by time everything happened, I had been indicted on a Colombo crime family indictment, extradited back to New York, and it was October, it was Halloween, 2008. And I woke up that morning, I can't explain why, how, or what, but I knew John had passed away. So as the phone's open, I called Tim Schreiner, and he said, yes, Ori, John passed away this morning. He's buried here in Santa Monica. I did a video there one day, where I went there, and upon my release from prison, I wrote my book, and during COVID, Oliver Stone wrote a book, really great book. Can't remember the name of it right now, okay? But he dedicated the book to John Daly. Now this is something that you don't normally see somebody in Hollywood giving credit to somebody that because of that person, they are a success. And I picked up the phone and I called Oliver Stone. I said, Oliver, I have to thank you. I read your book, it was an awesome book. I said, but the dedication to John Daly, I said, that meant so much to me because we don't see this in Hollywood. So my friend, the real Sassafras wrote, okay, if you don't know her, go to her YouTube and follow her, okay? So Oliver said, oh, Ori, yeah. I said, Oliver, my son kept the videos for me. All right, the one of John at Cedars-Sinai and the one of Oliver at his home. And Oliver said, Ori, I remember doing it, but I never saw it. I said, Oliver, I have them both. He said, can you send them to me? I said, certainly. I had to put them in Dropbox. I sent them to him. He loved them, okay? Oliver's a very nice guy. God bless him. He's doing very well. And we all know the movies he made, okay? We all know the movies, Donzo and all. See, everybody in Hollywood needs a start, okay? And folks, once again, I want to thank you all who support my channel. And from my heart, I deeply appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button, please. That helps me, okay? There's other buttons down there, like I told you earlier, okay? And I'm not going to say them, okay? But they're there, and Lindy is letting you know it there. So please look at what Lindy does. She's doing an amazing job. Everybody, give her a hand because I really appreciate this here. And so that's the story with one guy, John Daly. Now, who do I know? I've become very good friends with George Gallo and Nick Villanoga. George Gallo wrote Midnight Run, Bad Boys, Comeback Trail, Middleman, 29th Street. I go on and on. Nick Villanoga, Green Book, which is a true story about his father, and he won Best Picture of the Year. Okay? These are my friends today. And it's George Gell who wrote the script, The Accidental Gangster. And it's an amazing script. And hopefully in September, we'll be able to get a date that we will be in production. Hollywood is the slowest business on earth, okay? It's really, I told George was cracking up. I said, George, I could put a turtle right out here, all right? And by the time that turtle got to New York, you still can't make a movie in Hollywood. They're quicker than a movie gets made. So it takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of people. When you go to the movie theater, you see all those credits. Hundreds, because it takes each and every one of those people and every department to be able to make a movie. Now the people that are putting up the money, they want to make a real movie. Not like these movies we've been watching. I tell you something. I go to Amazon, I go to Netflix, HBO. I go to all these things. I got them all, and I try to watch a movie every night. I like movies. I tell you, it's so tough to find a good movie, okay? Because they're making them on very low budgets. We're never going to see movies like we did in the old days. It's all changing, okay, to become low-budget movies, okay? You're not going to see big actors, okay, like okay? Like, the old days you had Gary Cooper, Jimmy Stewart, Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, George Clooney, Brad Pitt. Those days are over, okay? Those days are over, folks. See all these studios? You've seen them all. If you haven't, go back. I posted stories from each studio here in Hollywood. I told you how Hollywood began, okay, how it left New York and came to California. And now, for the same reason that it left New York, it's leaving California. It's gone to other states, okay? Yeah. See all those studios? Someday, they're going to be all apartment buildings. I don't know where the people are coming to rent these apartments. People are leaving California, but yet people are coming and renting these apartments, paying $5,000, $10,000 a month in rent. I don't understand it, okay? But that's the way things are going here in Hollywood today. So there's so much more that I could tell you. Now, a lot has happened about Diddy. I'm sure you all want to hear about it. So tomorrow I'm going to have all the documents, the new court filing that just took place in the last couple of days. All right? And I will be doing that story, reading the documents, and explain to you in simple language of exactly what they mean. I've seen a couple other creators already out there, and like it's a big deal, it's dramatic, it's destroying. All right, they got all these words, okay? It's really not that big of a deal. It's very standard, okay? But I will go through that with you tomorrow. And folks, as usual, all right, I want to thank you all, okay? I give you all my love and respect. God bless each and every one of you. Let's have a positive week, a happy week. Being happy, folks, is very important. I try to make somebody's life happy every day. And if all you do that there, then I achieve something. Thank you, everybody. You all take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm not supposed to say bye-bye.